Alright fellas, here we are back at Pokemon Masters with the Shine a Gentle Light Battle Challenge Round 2. So the story event is finally back. It's definitely a very nice story event. Go ahead, give it a read, whatnot. Very cute. Anyway, so we got the Battle Challenge Round 2, which of course we had last year, so I'm pretty sure I uploaded a video for it last year, but old, cringy. I'm good. So let's go ahead and redo it here. So we've got one normal and one electric character, as well as two Johto characters. So this is definitely doable in one battle, but it's probably painful and it's not free to play. So I went for two semi-free to play setups that can give us very easy wins. First one here is Lyra, Silver, and Blaine. This is for the double Johto. Silver and Lyra alone just decimate the stage. Silver is insane with his grid expansion, and then Blaine is for Sun because the enemies do have clear advantage, so you do have to have a weather, terrain, or zone effect up in order to make sure they remove that effect. So that's why we have that there. And then we have our other team, which is Blue, Gladion, and Volkner. This is for the electric and normal missions. Gladion is obviously going to do grass damage because he's got the multi-change ability. And then we've got Volkner here to apply electric terrain. You could probably just put in an electric support in this case, and then use literally any other, grassy terrain, electric terrain, whatever type of setter. Honestly, I'd recommend probably bringing Egg Leafeon if you do have it. Egg Leafeon will probably work a lot better just in, help power up Gladion, as well as do some chip damage with a Razor Leaf to the sides. Not the worst thing in the world. You do also have to get NPR on Blue's Trainer move in order to actually max out Gladion's crit, but we'll go into that into the battle. Speaking of, let's go ahead, hop into the battles here, and get ourselves these wins. Okay, so pretty much what you guys start out with here is using, obviously, Gladion's Trainer move, get that Grass type in. You want to probably start out with a Flinch or Trainer move from Volkner in order to make sure that the enemies either, get flinched, so you have that extra countdown or whatever, or you just let them continue to do their thing. Doesn't really matter. But you do have to make sure you get NPR on Blue's Trainer move once so you can get yourself that crit buff for Gladion here. You can try and go for more NPRs if you want speed buffs or something, but it really doesn't matter that much. Once you get to the point where you're about to use Gladion's sync move, use the electric terrain with Volkner. Do know I have Supreme Entry as the lucky skill for Gladion here, so my move is going to hit for a lot of extra damage because we have the super effective next. Do keep that in mind. But you could, of course, go for Super Powered or Critical Strike 2 as your lucky skill if you want. It may help out, and, the DPS will end up outdoing the damage from that sync move anyway. Who knows? So you could do the math if you wanted to. Here, pretty much, at this point, just spam your attacks with Gladion and then try and flinch the sides and middle as much as possible. That's really what you're intended to do at this point. This is where speed buffs would be pretty helpful because at this point, as you can see, we are definitely running out of gauge relatively quickly. I probably wouldn't have recommended going for that Thunderfang with Volkner. Instead, you probably should have gone for electric terrain. Also, getting NPR on electric terrain with Volkner would have definitely been quite helpful, but sadly, we did not. So we do end up having to go through the end of this battle without electric terrain up, which does give the enemies their damage reduction and whatnot of 50%, but at least I think it's 50%, but it doesn't really matter too much. It's not the biggest issue. We end up winning, and this was some pretty bad RNG for me because I do use the multi-attack. I was going to go for the flinch on the other side because I thought it was attacking, but it was this golem, the left golem, because I just realized they're both golems. But anyway, yeah, so as you can see, Gladion ends up getting flinched, which pretty much puts me in a flinch lock with the other two, where I pretty much have to make sure I keep spamming flinches on them. And I ended up actually doing quite a lot of damage with Volkner with his, Thunderfangs, as well as the stomps with Blue. At this point, if you wanted to, you probably could have started going for Seed Bombs in order to try and really get a lot of damage in there, since since Gladion was flinched for half the battle. But I didn't end up needing to do that, which was fine. Here's where you probably would have set up another electric terrain because, again, they have the clear advantage, which sadly I'm not able to immunize now because we don't have any more electric terrain NPR, but it's not really a big issue because their sides, they don't really take too many hits in order to go down, so it's not the biggest thing in the world. As you can see, they both nearly go down, and again, it's not really a difficult battle here. So we go ahead and finish them off with the multi-attack and Seed Bombs, and goodbye. So, not really the most difficult battle challenge in the world, of course, but you may want to get a little bit lucky so your fucking Gladion doesn't get flinched for half the battle towards the end there. But it wasn't really a big issue anyway. Again, you can probably replace his Supreme Entry with Super Powered or Critical Strike if you need it, or if you want to, rather. It would probably be better to keep Super Powered on him anyway, because it's a good 30% multiplier just for free, pretty much. So go ahead and keep that. I would recommend it. Anyway, the grids here, again, really all you need from blue is NPR for his trainer move. Everything else is pretty much secondary, not really required. Gladion do definitely go for his full grid with the nuke and whatnot. Everything you can pick up, try and pick it up. The damage stuff, pretty sure he's got super powered or max double down, or sorry, double down rather, or something like that. Pick all of it up. And then Volkner here, I went for a tanky grid, but really you don't need anything. Pretty sure everything he has is in his passes and whatnot, but I would recommend picking up Electric Train NPR, so keep that in mind. Anyway, let's move on to the next battle. Alright, so here we are with the Lyra, Silver, and Blaine setup. Again, this is very easy. It's so free. Just build Silver for his nuke, and then you're basically going to win anyway. It's not really a big issue. Go for the crit buffs here with Lyra at the start because you don't want to use your trainer move yet. You want to go ahead and set up Sun on the second turn with Blaine and use start spamming Solar Beam with Silver. Could go for the trainer move if you wanted towards the end, but I don't think the damage would have outdone anything else because the super effective next is useful and whatnot. Because I didn't change his grid, but it doesn't really matter too much. I would just keep spamming Solar Beam until the enemies basically go down. You don't really have to worry too much. Because as you'll see with Silver's trainer move here, or sync move rather, you're going to just murder everything in your sight. Also with Lyra, once you've got that done, you could, once you got Silver's buffing done, you could probably go for a light screen if you want to make sure you can take resisted attacks from the Octazookas and other attacks, or you could go for Energy Ball if you want to do some very minor chip damage. Not the worst idea, because it actually does damage that side there a decent chunk, so whichever one you are more comfortable with, go for it. But again, just spam Solar Beam with Silver, does great super effective damage, and as you can see from the Fire Spin there from Blaine, you actually can do some relatively solid enough damage with these supporting slash non-DPS focused characters in order to actually whittle down that side a lot. See, 1,000 damage pretty much from Lyra there was pretty good. I went ahead and went for a Sacred Fire here because I didn't know if Sun was going to go down, because I wanted to make sure they went down before they were able to use their sync move, because Silver is weak to water. So if the enemy does end up actually using their sync move, you may want to be very, very careful about that, because Silver could actually end up going down from that, which could definitely cost you the battle in the end. But I don't think that would have actually cost us too much there, assuming Blaine and Lyra lived, but I don't know. We didn't have to worry about that because we were able to defeat them first. So yeah, anyway, these are the grids. Really, all you need from Lyra is probably trainer move, not NPR, but whatever the ability is. You may not actually need a grid. Think about it, yeah, you probably don't need a grid with Lyra. Silver, just pick up all the nuke stuff, pretty much copy the same grid, you'll be fine. And then Blaine, honestly, again, you don't need anything. You may want to go for like Poke Trap if he has it. I forget if he does or not, but Poke Trap could be useful for a little bit of chip damage, but you don't really need it again. Anyway, yeah, that is the Battle Challenge Round 2 for Shine a Gentle Light. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. Pretty easy to do, free-to-play / semi-free-to-play. And if you need help, again, comment down in the comment section, and I'll be sure to help you as best as I can. Anyway, yeah, I'll see you all later. I hope you all enjoyed.